We'll welcome you to my new venue here at in the great town of Westchester, in the western suburbs of Chicago. As always, joined by my pals, the couch, the couch, and the cabinet. Todd O'Connor and John Flaherty aren't here, and I believe Joe Gonzola could not make it this week as well. Our thoughts to him as he had his seventh triple bypass just last Tuesday, and he's at Lutheran General on the North Shore, recovering well. Hope you do. Cheers, buddy. Well, we've had a rough week in Chicago as far as weather goes. It hasn't been too warm, but yet it hasn't been too cold. The weather. Now, the question a man has to ask himself is not about the weather, but whether or not he wants to root for the Cubs or the Sox. Well, I can tell you one thing. Dicka might be more. His heart rate might go more with the Cubs. As a Sox fan, I'll tell you that what we have in Chicago is a pride in the South Side. In a sausage industry that has been, seen better days, I feel that the city's never been stronger, and jobs are coming back. So for the Super Bowl, that leads me to my next segment about Colin Kaepernick's heart rate and Dick going through about his patriotism as Colin Kaepernick disrespect our flag. Shame on him. Next point, back to the Super Bowl. I think it's Super Bowl 27, or maybe it's 49. I'm not sure. Either way, I think the Dolphins are going to beat the Panthers. Sorry, nope, that's not it. Philadelphia. So no one actually cares this year in Chicago about the actual football game, but we'll be doing something else. I think that night. As a tradition here in Chicago, as we make sausage the day later, and it's kind of our Black Mondays, we call it, the day after the Super Bowl, because of all the laborers that have fallen on Sunday, Bloody Sunday. That is the Super Bowl in Chicago. So you got a Jew, me here, Herb Levinovitz, and it's been great to be here. Talk to the Patriots fans making their way from O'Hare, where I'm a baggage control clerk at the moment. My job, my warrant probation parole officer, rather, has got me set up with the great Air Canada. So I'm doing a lot of baggage moving, baggage tagging, and making sure that the baggage gets from A to B for your utmost respect, and great flight from Toronto to Chicago. I also do the flight from Minneapolis, which was a privilege this week, as Minneapolis there is having a wolf issue, I understand, and they apparently are going after wolves. But the locals say, no, don't worry, this is what we do here, and everything's going to be okay. Kind of like the Beijing Summer Olympics, when there was crazy wars going on in China and we weren't sure why we were still doing the Olympics. Reminds me of that movie, The Race. But that aside, my prediction with Tom Brady, like Brady Quinn, who I saw at Notre Dame, and the great Tom Zibikowski. So, be it that I love Zibby, I have to go with Brady, even though he went to Michigan. I still like that name, and names mean everything here in Chicago. So, Brady's balls over the Eagles. Although, I like the bald eagle. It's a pretty bird, I gotta say. If I had a choice of birds, I might go with the bald eagle. Orioles aren't bad. Cardinals okay. Not Cardinal Law, though. Those Catholic priests. Okay, now I'm switching subjects. The next subject, the Hawks have the night off. and they'll be back at it tomorrow night at the UC. The Cubs haven't done anything as far as trades go, and Lou Piniella is currently in the hospital, having suffered his 9th heart attack last week as he was making his way out of Ditka's on the Edens Expressway back to his son's home. Glad Lou Piniella actually still lives in Chicago. A lot of people retire in Florida, but he had the courage to stay in Chicago, and we love him for that. Now, we go to our segment where we like to talk about the Blues, St. Louis Blues, more like a St. Louis Blues cruise, booze cruise, if you ask me and my neighbors, because we went down there and we went to the Budweiser Brewery, which is not the same as Miller. 2 different companies, I found out. And I had a Budweiser, one at the brewery. They gave you a free one. I had 6 more. Went to the Hawks game in St. Louis, and we called it the United Center South. But the Blues now are down 1-0 to the Coyotes. Okay, Coyotes, Wayne Gretzky. He's the great one. So, I don't know about the Coyotes, though. Personally, I think they suck. The Hawks will still make the playoffs. The Blues, wish them the best because we got 1 free beer. So I'm going to say Blues win some more games. I don't have a real opinion on it, as I'm not from Canada. Like I said, I just am an Air Canada baggage support consultant or something of that nature right now. But I'm going to study Ditka's heart rate some more tonight, and maybe learn some more of the Polish language, as my grandmother has recently come from Poland, and I'm taking care of her. She had a pony there, which is, I don't know why you go from a pony country to a non-pony country, but as I always say, Chicago, where the Windy City comes together for everyone, and every Polish grandma can certainly have her own way and all the money she wants, because I'm going to give it to her. Grandma, I love you. Cubs, love you. Sox, love you. Hawks, love you. Bulls, get better. And Tom, that's in the hospital, get better too. My guests that weren't here tonight, as for the couch and the cabinet, I thank you. I thank the good Lord Ditka for giving us these items, and also the good Lord Ditka for bracing us in His presence and His calm, and giving us the strength and courage to go forward. In Ditka we trust. Okay, that's it for me. Good night from Chicago to Windy City. Remember, Wrigley Field, $3 beers now. $3 beers. That's for a pint of old style. Budweiser's still $20.